So for today's episode, I've got someone really close to my heart. Someone I've known for the last few years. We've worked together. We've, interestingly enough, shared a lot of similar life experiences as well, which has helped us bond and be as close as we are. So without further ado, I'll get her to introduce herself and go from there.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Elle. I've got a background in public relations and marketing as well as fashion. I'm currently working in the automotive industry, funnily enough, and I've also just launched my business earlier this year, so I do a bit of creative directing and marketing.
Yeah, and I know from when the first time I met you, you've always been one of the most motivated people I know, even on bad days, even when you're like not feeling up to it, if you're sick, you're tired, whatever it may be, you motivate yourself to do the best you can, whether it be with your kids, whether it be with your career, whether it be with your family, your relationship, your friends. You find that balance and you're somehow there for everybody, but also you keep motivated and push through. And that's not an easy thing. And I really want to dive into that. But before we fully get into that, let's start with where it all started. You know, your journey, the experiences you had growing up, and what led you to be the way you are.
Yeah, of course. I think to articulate this for the conversation's sake in the best way I possibly can, having lost a parent very young. So I wasn't always like a positive person, and it took a lot of healing and time to kind of overcome those circumstances I've experienced in the past. So high school was a very dark time for me. There wasn't a lot of structure. So I really had to discipline myself and not become a product of my environment or the people I was hanging around with. It was quite toxic, to say the least. So once I graduated from high school, I said, this is not me, this is not who I am. And I wanted to prove to myself that I could be different. Both my parents didn't come from an academic background, so getting into university was my goal, and I was able to achieve that. And that kind of made me realize that like I can achieve anything, really. And that also made me realize that like life is so short, so I want to be able to experience everything to the absolute fullest. Hence why sometimes I get called the Energizer Bunny, because I'm just constantly on the go, whether it's waking up early in the morning to watch a sunrise, even though I've slept for like 3 hours, watching my kids play, like being so fully present with them because life is so short, and just being in the moment, I guess.
No, 100%. I think it's so important to have that awareness and push through, because that's what gets you through hard days. And you know, sometimes you might have 10 hard days and one good one, but how do we get through the 10 hard ones? That's the bigger struggle, right? My question to you would be, based off everything you've experienced and what you've been through in your life, and you know, coming from a single parent household to being able to turn that around for your kids and be different, be present in your relationship with your children, everything else, what's the advice you would give your younger self, or anyone watching this, you know, a kid watching this that went through a similar upbringing we went through and are going through it right now? What would be the advice you would give them to get through all the struggles and everything else?
I think most importantly is the cognitive distortion and understanding how powerful that actually really is, and your inner monologue and what you're speaking to yourself every single day. When they say manifestation can come to existence, I am 100% a big believer on that kind of stuff, and really changing your perspective. And I know it's easier said than done, but if you can find the resources that work for you and not let your fears overcome whatever you feel like is stopping you, the world is literally your oyster. I know that sounds so cliche, but
it's true.
It's 100% true, and you can achieve literally anything. And I think it's just so important to also realize that like life is so short. So, you know, if something sets you back, find another alternative. Like, yes, you can sit with your emotions if something has upset you, but get over it the next day and power through it, because you're the only one that's going to be accountable for your own life at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so important to know that you are bigger than your limitations. Like, sometimes we have so many limiting beliefs that we are scared to even try beyond that, and that's so important to be able to break that and push through with that. And like you said, resources, any resources that would help. I know sometimes it can be different resources. Something that works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. But I think it's really important to try at least, you know.
Just try a little bit of everything, see what actually works for you. Like therapy might work for some people, therapy might not work for other people.
Yeah.
Yoga, meditation, whatever it may be that sparks a little bit of joy in you and relieves kind of any tension that you may be going through, and creates your inner monologue to speak about yourself in a positive way, will really be impactful in how you show up for yourself and how you show up in the world.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all that insightful advice. I really appreciate it.